All right, take 2, update on my fermentation chamber. It's been 3 months since I made the last video on how to build the fermentation chamber. In the video, I mentioned that I was concerned about the 2 wires, the temperature probe and the coffee pot going to the side and opening up the seal. I can pretty much say that I've had no issues with the 2 wires being there. The temperature does fluctuate between 2 degrees, which I think is actually pretty good. 2 degrees fluctuation will mean it'll go as high at 75 and as low at 71. And it's been pretty consistent like that. Unfortunately, I don't have any graph to show you. I checked on the Inkbird, I reconnected it to the Wi-Fi to get a graph, but it only saved up to maybe 5 days prior, and I wasn't fermenting anything 5 days prior, so there's no data. So that's a bit of a bummer. The only issue I have with it is just the Wi-Fi connectivity, and that really just is because of location of where I am. If you haven't noticed, I'm outside in a pretty rural part of the state. Wi-Fi connection is choppy, to say the least. I really can't blame Inkbird for it. All I can say is that if I were to move, I would have better access with the Wi-Fi and it would be a lot easier. The coffee pod has actually been doing pretty well. So just recently off camera, I cleaned it with bleach and water just to scrub it out really good. So when I got this 3 months ago, I cleaned it good and I have not cleaned it since. And I'm pretty sure that any experienced brewer would say that's a bad habit and that you should always clean your fermentation chamber before and after you put something in there to ferment. That's a newbie and rookie mistake, I'm sure, but you got to balance on what you think is a priority. I'm not brewing anything to be sent off for a competition. I'm brewing just for my enjoyment and for my pleasure to get the basics so that then I can learn and brew for competition. So anyway, all that being said, I cleaned it with bleach, which is probably not the best cleaning material to use regularly. But since I haven't cleaned it for 3 months, I wanted to make sure that I get everything spotless, sanitized, and just disinfected. So I cleaned it with bleach, and right now I'm letting it air out. I don't want that bleach smell to stay in there. And if it does smell, I'll just have to get some of that non-scented soap and just wash it out. As far as cleaning it before and after in the future, I'll continue to use the Star Sand, and I'll just use that to clean it off. I'll just spray and wipe and just set it and forget it. But that's why I decided to clean it out really well with bleach. Again, probably not the best material to use, but after 3 months, you need something hard to clean with, and that's what I did. If you have not built a fermentation chamber, I would highly recommend you do it. You really need to. Even though you add on more responsibility with the cleaning it, you add more cost to you have to spend money on the refrigerator, spend money on the Inkbird, spend money on your heat source. If you don't get your heat source or your refrigerator for free or used, then yeah, it can look like a big investment. Honestly, it's not. I would still highly recommend to go out and get a fermentation chamber. The peace of mind that you get when you can put your beer, your wine, your cider, whatever it is, inside the chamber, set the temperature, forget it. Know for sure that it's going to fluctuate between 2 degrees, but that's okay. It's very enjoyable. It's very rewarding, very highly recommended. You kind of have to, all right? There really is no excuse to not have a fermentation chamber as you go on through your brewing career. I would highly recommend it. Please get it. And if you do, just let me know, tag me on Instagram, and I would love to see your fermentation chamber. And I would love to see your idea, your style for your fermentation chamber. If you did something different than I did, what your heat source is. I would just love to see it. If you got this far in the video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And just have a kick-ass day. No, I can't use that. That's Jesse's catchphrase. I don't know. Help me out with the catchphrase.